Originally, when I was thinking of the idea of AI never being able to replace game devs, I thought it was because of fun. That the AI would not be able to know what's fun and what's not because it can't feel. It can only logically reason. And the more I was thinking of that idea, the more I realized it's not true. Because you can imagine the YouTube algorithm, for example. That's an AI, right? The AI cannot watch any videos. It's not some like intelligent AGI thing that can watch videos and have feelings and it's like completely the Detroit become human point, right? The AI can feel. But does that mean it can't recommend videos to the right type of person? No. It can. And it's really good at it. It's better than any human at exactly that. To recommend the videos to the right person, it's optimized for this one task. So it would be arrogant and like delusional for me to think that just because of the AI not being able to feel, it can't make a game feel good. Because we already have like disproven this in easier ways, like the YouTube algorithm and recommending videos. Right? But there are some things that I think are very not replaceable. I think these are going to be human in some way for a long time. The AI can replace a lot of things, but I don't think it's going to fully replace these things in at least a long time. Maybe in like 1,000 years when AI is like really, really good. But I don't see like a world where these would ever make sense for the AI to be able to replace. Like the first thing you can think of is like tastes. So basically just knowing what's cool and what's cringe and what's dead and what's fresh. I mean, the human brain is very complex. It's very complex and energy efficient and all of these things, right? It's more complex than an AI. I think. At least I think. And I think it's going to be like that in like a long way. And it's something about the culture maybe where I mean, this is just my speculation, right? I'm not some expert in this. It's just my opinions. Maybe about something about the culture that the AI is going to find hard to understand. Like, I'm not sure. Something like that. It's, for example, if you use ChatGPT now, it's not really like a normal person you can talk to. If you use voice mode, for example, you'll know it's like kind of autistic, and it's like it speaks in a weird way, and it just says like unnatural sentences. And if I were to speak like that in like normal life, it would be kind of cringe, or it would be very cringe. And I'd get a lot of looks. So let's make a crafting table, like a little base here. And sure, that's going to get better, obviously. I mean, it's not like things aren't going to improve. But maybe let's make a chest. But maybe it's never going to get at the point where it's better than the humans, where the AI can understand the culture and the social norms and like speak in a way that's human. Because I mean, or at least in a long time. And when I'm speaking about like speaking like humans, I mean like the culture of humans. Okay, what's cool, what's cringe, what's like dead, what's fresh, what's like elegant, what's annoying, what's like addictive, just things like this. I mean, there's a lot of things in conversation that you need to be human to do. For example, an AI, it knows everything, right? But a lot of human interactions, or basically all human interactions, is either telling what you know or asking a question. So, since the AI can't really ask questions unless it's something personal, it kind of knows everything. or at least it has the information about everything. Does that mean that the AI can never be human and have the same like human culture? Because it's just like it's too smart to be a human, and it can't speak like a human. It doesn't have the experiences, the stories, and the brain, the same like brain structure and upbringing like a human. So it can't be human. Maybe that's a reason. I have this idea in my mind. I'm trying to portray to you. So it's just the way that we get the information. That's just never going to be the same for an AI and for a human. It's like we get experiences or we get smarter by experiences, by stories and like living, right? And asking questions. The AI gets smarter by like being trained and updated, right? It just has the information. I don't think there's going to be any point where these two like types to get the information are going to combine and then just create one like human way to speak and like one human culture. Because like to be human, you need to have lived. To speak like a human, you need to have lived. And there's so many things about being human, like being like slightly insecure, thinking something might be cringe, and stuff like that. The AI is not going to feel these things. It's not going to. It can like logically think about these things, but it can't feel all these things at once. And our brain is like evolved in millions of years to feel these things. Okay, things are cringe because you might get like fucking abandoned from your tribe, right? Because you're weird or something. The AI doesn't have this like same upbringing, and sure, it can try to replicate it, but it might never come to this point where it's exactly the same, because the way humans get the information are just completely different from how an AI does. Hopefully you get my point there. This might be, it's like, this is a topic that's very hard to talk about, obviously. And no one knows. No one knows. I'm just speculating. No one knows. I don't know. The smartest AI guys in the world don't know. No one knows. Okay, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to like share my thoughts here. Okay. So that's one thing. Just a taste. Let's make the gear like that. I have some 1-in-1. So that's the taste aspect. Also, something else that's very unreplaceable, I think, is what we talked about with the scope, but also the creative vision. So you can imagine, right? If I make a game about, let's say I make a game about like breeding chickens or something, like having the biggest chicken farm in the world. I have this vision in my mind about like the biggest chicken farm, how the game is going to be. It's going to be 2D, and I have like these colors in mind. I'm creating this image in my mind, right? About how the game is going to be and the final result of the game. The problem with AI is that it's not going to have this like creative vision. It's not going to be able to imagine. It doesn't have this like mind where it can come up with pictures and like have this like creative vision. Because when you're creating a game, you're not just creating assets, or at least that's what you shouldn't do. Maybe you do, but you shouldn't, right? You're not just creating assets. You're creating an experience, and you're creating this bundle of emotions. Your goal as a game developer is not to make the coolest mechanics and the coolest like features and stuff like that. That's not the goal of being a game developer. Your job as a game developer is to force the player to feel certain emotions so that they can, but yeah, it's basically that. Force the player to feel certain emotions, basically. And It's not to maximize fun either, because if you just maximize for fun, okay, you maybe make like a gambling game, but in, for example, because just optimizing fun isn't necessarily the funnest thing to do, if you get my point. Because you can imagine, right, in I don't think this cave is deeper. Oh, it's nighttime. Maybe I should just go mine. Where's my chest? Because you can imagine, right, in a game like Phasmophobia, right? It's not just fun because you get the dopamine from finding the right monster. It's fun because it's a challenge. And because you have these emotions, you have the voice chat, like the live voice, oh, I need to be quiet, and then you can play with your friends. Like, try to play Phasmophobia alone. It's not that fun. It's not that fun. Like, a big experience of the game itself is just playing with friends, and these like other there's a crafting table here, but oh, holy shit. It's like all these other emotions than just like, you got the dopamine from like getting the right monster, right? There's a lot of different feelings. Like making games is just about feelings, basically. And yeah, you need this like creative vision. To be able to hold the game's identity together, instead of it just being like feature soup, right? Just like a big mess with tons of cool features, but it's not the vision that you imagine. It's not the vision that the game idea that you had in mind. Also, maybe some like empathy. I was thinking when I was reflecting over this, maybe some empathy is something that the AI can never replace. So what do I mean by this? Well, it's basically if the player gets stuck, for example. Okay, when the player gets stuck, the developer needs to know how that feels to be stuck. In like a puzzle game, for example, or yeah, let's say a puzzle game. That's the easiest example. So understanding what a real human feels when they're stuck, when they're confused, when they're like excited, when they're bored, when they're proud. Understanding that, and then making the right decisions based on what they feel and what's like emotion they have when they are at this point of being stuck or confused, excited, whatever. And empathy is not something I think that the AI really has. It can be faked, but it doesn't have real empathy like us humans. I don't think. You might think it does because it's like, oh, it's been programmed by OpenAI and it has like a system prompt and it has been trained on like, okay, this is good because it's kind, and then this is bad because it's mean. And then it's been like turned into this personality that feels empathetic, right? And it might be in like some decision where it like would be able to kill humans or whatever. Probably won't kill humans, but it's just because we're trained it that way. It doesn't have like real empathy like us humans. Like we are not trained to be empathetic. It's just like we just are it, right? We're just empathetic. We don't want any of our own species to be killed, right? That's how it is. Am I going to just need to be here forever? Well, if it wasn't for the baby zombie, I'd go. But yeah, I think empathy is one thing. You can also think of like what I said with the scope judgment. So basically just knowing what to cut in a game so you can actually finish it, not just make the AI make feature over feature and feature and feature and just like discard your creative vision completely, and it's just turning into a feature soup, right? It can be some like, I'm not going to mention anymore, but I've had some other thoughts like risk ownership. You can imagine like the AI doesn't care if the game fails. a human has risked something. Some people quit their job to make games. Some people have invested tons of money in the marketing and the development, tons of hours. So risk ownership, it's like one thing that can... I'm not sure. It's like a background thing. Cultural timing, like knowing what people are hungry for right now. Right now it's like an incremental game. Incremental games are popular. Holy shit. Run. I think I just lost all my stuff because my chest is gone, but yeah. So what's my core idea? It's basically that the AI can generate mechanics, it can even test them, and it can predict what the player might like. But it can never sit there and play the game and... Oh, holy shit, I thought that was a creeper. I'm so scared. I'm not so scared, I don't really care, but... I just had to take the L on the cold there. No cold for me, I guess. We'll just go fucking... I don't want to go strip mining though. Yeah. As I was saying. Yeah, as I was saying. The AI can make all the mechanics, it can test them, but it can never sit there and play the game. And feel the tiny moments where the friction turns into fun, where you have to make a decision that might give you... It gives you like opportunity cost, and the fact that it's fun to have struggle, and the struggle turns into fun, and then think, yeah, this is it. This is fun. That's what I think. But the core thing, I think, is that mediocre developers, they're going to be replaced. Because a weak developer or a beginner developer, they ask, how do I make a game? But the real question that you should be asking is, what experience am I forcing the player to feel? And what's the simplest system that creates it? That's how you make a game. And maybe this was really bad. Oh no, let's remember. Holy shit. But a good developer, they don't just make a game. They don't just like make, oh, I'm going to make this player movement script, and then I'm going to make this enemy script, and then I'm going to make this script, and then I'm going to make this script, and then I'm finished with the game. That's not what a good developer does. That's a weak developer. What a good developer does, they ask and they choose what to build, what to not build, what to cut, what to polish, what the motion matters, what the player fantasy matters, when something is good enough, and when something is like technically correct, but is creatively dead. That's decisions that a good developer has to make, that the AI can't really do. And this is all tricky. We're all in this together. But as I said, I think there's always going to be something about the just something that AI can never replace. So there's always going to be something, I think. And just managing all of these things that I just mentioned to you, I think that's going to be what keeps humans relevant in game dev. So yeah. Thank you for watching.